This is the High Density Espalier Gardener, and this is a new series on the potatoes I've been growing in grow bags. What you're seeing is the end result. I actually planted these last year and now they're ready to harvest. What I would like to show is both the harvest and the preparation for the new season using some of the potatoes that were in the grow bags as seed potatoes. I'm growing different kinds: sweet potatoes, purple, white, gold, red, and pink fingerlings. I wanted to grow something interesting and different. Now you will see a lot of the plants are dead, and that might seem like a failure, but that is supposed to happen. At the beginning of the season, the plants come out where they are ready to start a new set. I technically should have harvested it at least a month ago before the new shades came out, but I've been crazy busy and so it was delayed. One thing I think we'll see is that I probably planted them too shallowly. It was an experiment, and if I'm right, I will plant the seed potatoes closer to the bottom of the bags so that as the plants grow up, I should get more potatoes growing above the seed potato. So I'll start on this end and harvest to see how did it go. There was not a whole lot that I had to do to take care of these other than just to make sure they were watered. One thing I'm probably going to do different is I used these little sprinklers, and they have little round sprinkler jets going on, and it waters the middle, and underneath the water spreads out, but as you can see, it's really wet here in the middle and not so wet on the sides. I'm going to change all these heads out and use heads that sprinkle the whole bag. This is an experiment for growing potatoes in grow bags, and since I found it works, you can place them anywhere, including small spaces like balconies. Once you start harvesting, it's better if you just harvest the whole thing. You'll see how as I go lower and lower into the bag, I get less and less potatoes. That's because my suspicion was right. I planted them too high. So for next season, I will definitely plant them much deeper, and then as they grow, hopefully the bags will fill with potatoes. Originally, I placed the seed potatoes about 4 inches down, and when they grow out, the plants were lush and beautiful. For this season, I'll dig down toward the bottom of the bag at least about maybe 10 inches. I'll plant the seed potato down there, and it should be good to go. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that one in there, and it's now ready for the next growing season. Here the plant has fully died. When it's dead, that doesn't mean you have no potatoes. That just means the potatoes are ready to be harvested. Because I waited longer than I should have, the next season's seed potatoes have started without me. I didn't even have to do anything, but I'm going to go through and I want to harvest whatever potatoes are in here. See, these are purple potatoes. If I were to take out this plant right here, it would just be a potato with the plant growing out of the side of it. But what I'm going to do is reposition this potato plant so that it's further down, as I explained earlier. As I'm going through and harvesting these potatoes, what I'm looking for is to make sure they don't have any plants growing out of them. Okay, so these are fine to harvest and to eat. You might see that some of them are starting to grow little plants out of the eyes. They don't give out plants everywhere on the potato, it's only on the little eyes that they start growing. But once it starts growing out, unless they are very small shoots like this, you shouldn't eat it. If you're short on seed potatoes, something like that will work very nicely. This is a good example of something you can either eat or use as a seed potato because the shoot is tiny. Nice. This is what I'm talking about. This potato looked like the other ones, but as the plants have started to grow, the potato has shriveled. If you look closely, you will see what clearly looks like roots and something different that looks like little stubby nubs. Those stubby nubs will turn into potatoes. Most people think that potatoes are roots, but that is not the case. Potatoes are actually stubby, often funky-shaped underground branches of the potato plant. This is where the plant stores what it needs to survive winters, for example, and have the energy to push out new shoots when the time comes in spring. Okay, so this is the one that was showing just a little bit of plant above the ground. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about on how seed potatoes grow out with the plant and roots. If you plant it deeper, the further it grows up in the dirt, more roots will come out, as well as hopefully more and more stubby nub branches, which will grow up and eventually turn into potatoes. Okay, so now I've harvested the potatoes that were in here. I'm going to go ahead and get this one ready for the next season. One thing that I wanted to explain is that if they are fingerling potatoes, you should put more than just one in the bag, even though that's what I did in the other bag. I'm going to go back and I'm going to plant a few more in the first bag that I did. Normally you will do maybe 3 to 4 potatoes and then hopefully the bag will get full of potatoes for the next harvest. All of these potatoes were from just one potato. I'm going to go through and plant them all along the edge on the sides, and I'm actually going to bury this plant deeper. I didn't show it, but I ended up with 4 seed potatoes out of the whole batch, so I'll plant one on each end about 10 inches down. I'll plant one here and one here. I'll plant them directly across from each other to give them plenty of space to grow. I will plant them with the shoots growing up, and that should be fine. Since I will plant the seed potatoes in the 4 corners, as I explained a little earlier, the sprinkler heads should water the whole bag, and hopefully I'll have a really nice yield. Anyway, I will be trying different things each season so we can see what gives the best results when using grow bags. If you have any ideas, please share them. Okay, so I was growing the potatoes. I noticed that some of them didn't set, and that's why you put maybe 3 to 4 fingerling potatoes in to make sure some will set in each bag. This is a perfect example. I saw that in some bags nothing had set, so I went through and I put some sweet potatoes and baby reds so that each bag would have something growing. It looks like in this bag things went a little crazy. Oh, holy cow. Now that's a monster. I've never seen a sweet potato that big. It's a sweet potato, not a yam. Sweet potatoes are white on the inside. It looks like there's plenty of them. There's another one. And another one. Look at the size of those. Really nice looking sweet potatoes. So for next season, I'll probably use the little baby ones like this. I'll plant these and let them grow out, hopefully into more of those monsters. So in this bag, I'll have 3 seed potatoes. This one, and this one will be seed potatoes for the next harvest. And then we'll end up with something like this. Pretty good yield, I'd say, for now. I'll just cover these up and get everything cleaned up and planted later. Here's our potatoes grown in grow bags harvest. It actually was a lot more, but I have 24 grow bags and I planted 3 to 4 seed potatoes for the next season in each. So our harvest included about 80 to 90 more potatoes than what you see here. For our first try experiment, I learned a lot and I'm happy with the results, even though I'm hoping for more at the end of next season. There are many things you can grow that once purchased you won't have to spend more money on. Potatoes are a good example. Here are a couple of shots showing what we did with some of the harvest. This is the high density Espalier Gardener. If you have any comments or questions, please post them and I will respond as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.